pack bag.
How long do you think I'm going to be gone?
You come back. 3-4 days.
If you think I'd leave you in charge of this place 4 days, you're crazy. 2 days.
You need toothbrush, clean shirt. You be careful, Mr. Hank.
Okay, Paul.
You going to a wedding or a stick-up? Sorry, dear. What was it you said?
I don't know. I was just thinking bicycling through the park would be better than sitting here doing nothing.
Well, Hank said he'd meet us in the bar, this bar.
If Mr. Leon make appointment, he will be here.
You said that 3 hours ago.
Sooner or later.
Unless something happened to him.
If something had happened to him, then you would have heard.
You know, I think I'll go shopping.
Safe?
Oh, yes. Here in the foreign quarters.
And since it's so safe, how come half your customers come in here carrying artillery?
Artillery?
Guns.
Oh, most of the planters and officials from the country come here when they are in the city. Outside the city, it is not quite so safe.
Who's going outside the city, as hot as it is? Bye, dear. See back soon.
I hope the music does not bother you, Mr. Baker.
Well, no, of course not. I like music.
It drowns out conversation.
Including ours. Mr. Baker.
I've been waiting for a chance to speak with you. Alone.
What?
I'll talk. You listen. Your company intends to buy a large amount of natural rubber from the Henri Leon plantation.
Keep talking.
You must not make that transaction, Mr. Baker.
But why not?
Because the rubber does not belong to him. It is national property. All the rubber trees are national property. They belong to the Viet Minh. Do you understand?
Look, beautiful. One thing we don't have in common is a favorite color. I'm not very partial to pink.
I don't care what you think about me or my party. It is of no consequence. But you must not make this transaction. The bartender said your wife would be perfectly safe. Shopping. She's less safe now than she was.
Just who do you think you are?
I'm Li Ming Toi, a leader of the Viet Minh, Mr. Baker. Killing for my cause is less to me than... that.
But it'll take time and a reason.
I'm not interested in your method, Mr. Baker. I'll see you tonight, then, for an answer.
Where?
Wherever you are, tonight.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
I'll bet.
Oh, now, honey, I can explain this whole... Well, that is her. Well, where'd she go?
Undoubtedly dying to meet me. Oh, don't look so guilty, honey. After all, I understand that old Baker charm. If I'd known you were having such fun, I'd have stayed away a little longer.
Wasn't like that at all.
No? Will you tell me, honey, how was it?
No, you tell me. How was the shopping tour?
Well, I don't know. I got kind of scared. You know, I had the feeling that somebody was following me and made me nervous.
Now I know what I was nervous about.
And I told her I was very fond of you.
Yes.
Sir, Mr. Leon called. He is in Toulon.
Toulon?
Just across the river. Is he on the phone now?
He says he has to pick up housekeeper, and then we'll be here in half an hour. He will start for his estate right away.
This afternoon?
You can leave a message for her at the bar, dear.
Nice of you to bring Mrs. Baker along this trip, Biff. It's a real treat.
He promised last time, so I held him to it.
He could have worked me for a 10% discount just on the promise.
Still time. How is the rubber? Maybe I won't want it at any price.
Good, what there is of it.
Short crop?
About 70%.
Something wrong with the trees?
It's labor. We got about 60% of the workers we need. They'll have to pour it on to get out a 70% crop.
Gorillas?
Gorillas?
Guerrillas. I thought the Army cleaned them out.
It's nothing as bad as they were a couple of years ago. But they're still with us, out around the rubber estates and the rice flatlands. They've quit destroying the trees, thank le bon Dieu, because they now consider the rubber estates national property.
Yeah, so I heard.
Huh?
I must have read it somewhere.
Oh. So now it's mostly a campaign to frighten the workers. Raids on villages, burnings, wholesale slaughter. A lone planter murdered. Stuff like that. We'll whip them.
Can't the Army just round them all up?
And the problem isn't just to catch one. It's to know one after you catch him. They're geniuses of disguise. Sounds a lot worse than it is. There's nothing to worry about. You probably won't hear or see one of the devils during your whole visit.
Not even just a little one?
Hope the motor's in better shape than that windshield.
Oh, that. I had a little accident driving in this morning.
Must have been a sharp rock. You trying to pass a truck?
No, I just got careless. I ran into a bird.
I bet you put a dent in his back.
Yes. Yes, I'm afraid I did. Quite a dent.
Hello, George.
Hi, Hank. Hey, I heard about the windshield.
I'll be right with you. I want you to meet Mr. and Mrs. Baker, just in from the States. This is my good friend, George Carlson.
Hello, George.
Met Mr. Baker when he was here once before. It's nice knowing you, Mrs. Baker.
Hello there.
Paul, there's some luggage in the car. You know where to put the guest things. Nice of you to look in on the place while I was gone, George.
Glad to do it, Hank. Incidentally, Leroy's bringing his family over for dinner. Maybe the Millers, too.
Oh? Looks like I'm giving a party. Sita, you better huddle with the cook. Take your time about washing up and resting. I'll talk shop with George.
All right, Hank. Nice to see you, George.
Paul?
You go this way, please.
Looks like something out of a tropical play.
Would you like me to unpack for you?
No, thank you. We'll just live out of the bags.
I hope you will have a most happy time here.
You hope we'll have a happy time, but you don't expect us to. Is that it?
Biff, what a strange thing to say.
Paul, what's going on around here? Has there been trouble, or are you expecting something?
No, sir, no trouble.
What kind of a party is this, anyway? Wonder what it's all about.
I don't know. But you better get dressed.
Honey, I'll feel so conspicuous without even a stiletto to wear.
Honey, I'm going to take the gun back to Hank.
All right.
Oh, sorry, Sita.
Paul? Paul? Oh, hi. Feel better?
Well, some.
Nothing like a shower and clean clothes after a trip like that, huh? I should say so.
Look, Hank, let's drop the jolly host act, huh? I've been in trouble before, some of it with you.
Trouble?
Yes, trouble. Just saw some of your guests arrive.
They're nice people. I want you to meet them.
Doesn't anybody go around this rain-soaked rubber orchard without a Tommy gun?
Oh, that doesn't mean a thing. Do you want a gun to carry?
I've got one, thanks. Took this away from your houseboy.
Paul? Say, where is that little devil? I want him to help me with this stuff.
I think your little devil is long gone. I just saw him heading for the gates.
Why would he do that?
Well, wouldn't you run if your plot had been nipped in the bud?
What plot?
I don't know what plot. This spells some kind of plot to me, either to assassinate you or one of your guests.
Why do you say that?
From your reaction. It's a good question.
Oh, nonsense. I just thought maybe Paul had been chattering. He's inclined to be an alarmist. Thinks there's a guerrilla spy behind every tree on the plantation.
I bet he'd know one when he saw one.
Well, Paul's a good boy. He hates the Viet Minh guerrillas like poison. Oh, I doubt if there's one left within 100 miles.
You want to bet?
Why?
You know a Li Ming Tai or something?
Li Ming Tai, yes. No, not personally, I'm happy to state. That's a name they scare children with outside Saigon.
Well, she put a tingle in my spine in Saigon. Told me to go home, forget about buying rubber in Vietnam.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
This is the first time I've seen you, Hank, alone.
I see. Well, there's no use worrying Louise. There's nothing to worry about anyway, as far as that goes. Brazen characters. Try any kind of a bluff. Come on, help me with this stuff. You should have nabbed her. Nearly 2 million francs on her head.
Hello, chérie. Children asleep?
Oui.
Why don't you get Biff to dance? He still thinks this is something besides a party.
Oh, of course. If Mr. Baker would like.
As soon as I finish this hand, you may regret those courageous words.
I would enjoy it, really.
Oh, it's too hot to dance, even with a good dancer like your husband.
Oh, thank you, lovely lady, for the most beautiful lie ever told in Vietnam.
And besides, my husband doesn't dance. He runs.
Now, there is the basest lie I ever heard in Vietnam. I only trot.
Let's have a talk, Mrs. Moncrief. There are a lot of questions I'd like to ask you.
Oh, I would enjoy that very much.
Shall we go out here where there's a breeze?
Mrs. Baker, I wouldn't go out there.
Mosquitoes. They're carnivorous in this part of the country.
Louise, we can talk back here.
All right. Have you been here long, Mrs. Moncrief?
Years. I'll never get used to it. Don't call me Mrs. Moncrief, Louise. It makes me feel ancient.
An ancient 22.
24. I married Leroy when I was 16. In Paris. He came out first.
We just came here from Paris.
Oh?
But it was absolutely hectic, not like Paris used to be at all. This is my idea of fun. Friends, nice party. A real nice party.
Yes. It is nice. We used to have them more often. When there were more of us. The St. Clairs, the Carpenters, Claudette and Julien Defoe. Claudette was my age. We had fun.
What happened? Did they leave?
Leave? Yes. They all left.
Bonnie, what's the matter? Don't you feel well?
Of course. Don't pay any attention to me. I'm the jumpy type. Let's get the men away from that stuffy card table.
Come on, fellas. It's about time you stopped and paid some attention to us.
Mr. Hale! Mr. Hale! Boss! Boss! Danger! I saw him! I saw him! Mr. Hale! Boss! Boss! I saw him! Danger! I saw him! I saw him! Oh!
Wait a minute. Get back out of the light, all of you. George, Roy, cover me. I'm going after him. Dead, Hank.
He's dead. Now we can stop pretending.
Cherie.
Biff and Louise have a right to know what kind of danger they're in. This isn't a party. It's a fight. The guerrillas sent word they would kill Hank before midnight tonight. You asked me what happened to our friends. The St. Clairs and the others. They're all dead. Do you understand? Dead like paws.
I'll take her inside. Biff, you go and get my ammonia capsules from the case.
I wonder what he found out there.
I have an idea. That shot came from inside the grounds.
Inside?
The slug took him in the chest. I better get the smelling salts.
Do not light the lamp.
Who are you?
I told you I would see you tonight, Mr. Baker.
Li Ming Tai. You really do keep appointments, don't you?
Usually.
Well, this time I know where my wife is. And I'm going to do what I should have done before.
Don't do anything foolish. You saw what happened to the boy.
That was your work?
I shot him.
That must have taken a lot of courage.
It was necessary.
Well, beautiful, if you've come all the way out here for my answer, I've got one for you.
Then you don't intend to take my advice?
What do you think?
Since you refuse to cooperate, after tonight there will be no rubber sold to any interest from this plantation ever again. You should have stayed in Saigon, Mr. Baker.
And miss seeing you in action?
Now you and your wife will have to take your chances with the rest.
Biff!
Stay where you are, Mr. Baker.
Stop her!
Fine thing. I sent you for first aid and find you entertaining a lady and in the dark.
I can explain that, lady, when I've got time.
You needn't bother. I wasn't jealous of Sita.
Sita?
What's the matter?
Sita, of course.
Now, you needn't pretend that you didn't know she was in here. I saw her come out. Biff!
Remember that gorilla cutie I mentioned? Li Ming Tai? She was just in my room. I mean it.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Hey, he's not kidding.
Li Ming here inside?
Somebody shot Paul from inside.
But I don't see how she could have gotten in. You brought her in.
What?
Li Ming went into my room. Sita came out.
Sita? It's not possible.
Anything's possible with these fanatics. Let's go get her.
Sita! Sita!
Stay where you are. Don't make a move with those guns. Stand back. Now turn around and walk toward those gates.
You can't get us all with that grenade, Sita.
The grenade will go into the house where your families are.
Stay where you are. Make no move with your guns.
Now you will start walking.
She was probably headed for the gate with us.
Wonder what you're gonna do with it.
Blow up the gate. Get the guards all at the same time. Bunny? Louise? Past your bedtime, isn't it, honey? Everything all set here?
Just let him come through that gate.
How's your pitching iron, Biff? Well, it's not what it used to be at Stanford, but I think I can reach that gate. Try it.
Here they come now.
Can't I leave you alone in this bar for 1 minute without your latching onto some Madam Butterfly?
Now, honey, I can
explain.
explain.
And she kissed you.
But, honey,
and
I can
she
explain.
was crying.
Hank.
That was a 2 million franc kiss.
A what?
One of Paul's sisters. Biff gave his share of the reward for Li Ming to the family.
Oh.
Honey, I tried to explain to you.
You know, there are times when I wonder why I married this guy. But not all the time.